What's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Elevate. In this video, I want to help you beginner DJs get started. I want to help guide you in picking the things that you need and the steps you need to take to get started. I'm gonna touch a little bit on the software and the hardware and show you guys a bit of a walkthrough later on in this video, so stick around. Before we get into it, let's talk about what DJing is in a very simple way. DJing is playing good music, good sound selection, and essentially guiding and creating a vibe with the crowd. So you're guiding the crowd with music and you're creating an atmosphere of vibe. I view DJing as telling a story. So when I'm playing an event, let's say I'm doing the whole night, I see that as I'm telling a musical story to the guests and I'm feeding off their energy to see where they're at, and we're meeting each other halfway. So let's get into it. First, let's start off with the things you need. So you're gonna need a laptop. Use your judgment on what laptop you need if you have a laptop. Start with what you have. Then you're gonna wanna get a DJ software. So I use Serato. There's Rekordbox, there's Tractor, there's Virtual DJ, etc. If you wanna see what else there is, just head out to Google, just type in DJ software to see what else there is, and then take your pick. Look at some videos on them and see which one suits you best. What a DJ software is it's gonna help you organize your music in crates. So what crates are is basically like folders, but you know, back in the day, they used to actually carry physical crates with physical records. So that's why it got transferred over into the software as crates. But look at it like your folders of how you're gonna organize your music, where you're gonna add effects, how you're going to play it, and how it's going to interact with the next point, which I'm going to get into, which is your hardware. So your hardware, your DJ controller. I started playing with DDJ SB2 and SB3. They don't make those ones anymore, but I'm going to list a few here that you can choose from that are great to start with, and then also do your own research and see which one fits you best. The goal here isn't to buy something expensive and start with anything expensive. The goal here is to learn and figure out how the controller works, how the software works, and how they work together. Next thing you're gonna need is a pair of headphones. I personally started with Sony headphones or some of my studio headphones because I'm also a music producer. So I had headphones here, but if you're gonna get any headphones, make sure the backs are closed. So the back closed meaning there's no holes here, right? Because you want to be able to hear what you're working with and not have it bleed too much. I've also seen people DJ with like their wired Apple headphones. So use what you have and or just grab a nice pair of headphones. I'll list a few here that you can look at, but also please do your own research. Okay, so I'm going to open up Serato now and just give you guys a basic walkthrough of where things are. Let me get my controller. Went ahead and grabbed my SB2 controller. This is what it looks like. Most of the controllers that you're gonna start out with, if you grab a smaller one, will have a pretty similar layout to this one. So I'll show you guys the buttons to this in a second. Okay, so welcome to Serato. I have a lot of songs. Don't mind my crates because some of them are looking a little crazy. Crate organization is always a thing. Okay, so on your left here where you see these orange boxes, these are your crates. All right, I have a lot of crates, a lot of different music, a lot of different playlists that I've created for different events that I've done. So how you add a crate is just by clicking the crate button. And with the new Serato update, wherever you are on this field, it'll add the crate below it. Before this update, it would add the crate at the bottom of the list. So that's kind of how that works now. So in this window, you have all your songs. You have your song, the artist, the key, the BPM, album, genre, grouping, year, comment, length, etc. There are more tabs that you can add and remove, and you can organize it how you see fit. Okay, so in this window here on the left, we have, I was literally gonna say channel 1 because I'm such a producer, but this is your deck, your first deck. deck 1. The number 1's right here, and this is deck 2. Now, I purposefully don't have this plugged in because I want you guys to see what happens when you plug in the DJ controller. So I'm going to plug it in now, and you're going to see at the top here, some new options are going to appear. Allow it to read, and boom. Now all of a sudden there's the record button, there's effects, and then there's sound effects. So the record button, basically if you click this and you type in holiday mix, you can press record, it'll start recording, and then you start playing. Now how you save it is when you're done, you click save. Over here are your effects, like your low pass filter, your delay, your phaser, and these could be changed. So you can change what you want here, where you want it, if you just click the drop down window. But when you're just getting started, you're not going to really touch here too much, but I just want to show you where it is. Over here are your sound effects. So I have a few that are already put in here that I dragged from my effects folder into these sound banks, and you can have multiple sound banks, and I'll show you where and how you access that when we get to the controller part with the controller, but this is how you access it in the software. So I have Elevate. And keep in mind, if you didn't know, I have effects packs on my website. I have a volume 1 and a volume 2. A lot of you have been grabbing that, which makes me really happy because I know for me, when I had just started, I didn't know where to find sound effects and get good ones. So I have 2 volumes of sound effects on my website right now. So just click the link below if you want to grab it. Okay, so sound effects. Next, over here, you're going to see the full length song, the time, the duration, the key, the BPM, and this little red play button here thing is a cue point that I had added. We're not really going to get into that in this video, but you're aware of it, take notes. So that's in this tab. You can set all of your cue points. And how I set my cue point is you can grab this, click and drag. If you're just using the software, there's 1, there's 2. Otherwise, you can move your jog wheel to move through where you want to add your cue point and touch the pad, the second pad, and then you'll see that it appears there. Okay? In this tab, you have your stems, essentially, so you can take out the vocal, you can take out the melody, you can take out the bass, you can take out the drums. And then these options below are echoes out. Over here, you're gonna see your jog wheel, basically, and you're gonna see your BPM, how much time is in, and how much time is left. All right? I can drag and drop a song in, so let me go back to this. I can drag it in right here, and it'll load onto this side. So you see how the box highlights blue? Boom. And then I could do the same on this side. I can also do the same on this row here, and let me do a different song, and it'll load as well. And the same on the bottom row, and it'll load automatically into deck 1 and deck 2. Over here is your master, so that's just where the volume is coming out of, the main volume channel. And there's a little level, internal level here. I usually keep it right in the middle because I usually adjust my levels on my hardware, on my DJ controller. You have your settings here. This is where you can change some things. We're not going to get into this in this video, but just to show you where it is. So you have your DJ preferences. You have audio, library and display, mixer, FX, MIDI, and expansion packs. So when you have a chance and you get into your software, just click the tabs and just read through what they are. You might not know what they are, but just familiarize yourself with some of the terms, some of the wording, and see where everything is. Okay? Over here is just your profile. All right? And then you have the time here. Anytime you're going to close Serato, it's usually going to ask you, are you sure? Which I think is great because you can hit that button by accident. So that is Serato Pro in a nutshell. Now let's move on to your DJ controller. All right, now let's take a look at this DJ controller. Now again, they do not sell or make, not they don't sell, they don't make these ones anymore, but they make some that are very similar to it, but there also are some people who are reselling theirs. So this is the DDJ SB2. I also have the DDJ SB3. Now I'm just gonna give you guys a quick general walkthrough of what the things are here. We won't touch on everything just because it can be a lot, especially if you're just starting. In the center, you have your trim. What your trim is basically going to be when a song is coming through either deck 1 or deck 2, this is going to control the level of the sound that's coming out. Most songs are not mixed at the same level. Mixed meaning one song may be lower in volume than another. So sometimes you're going to have to adjust your trim to make sure that the levels are coming out even. In the center here, you have your browse. This is how you can browse through your tracks on Serato, and the left and the right are loads. What that means is if I press this button, a song will load onto this deck. If I press the right side, the song will load onto the right side. This knob right here is your master level of everything. So the trim, the difference between the master level and the trim is just affecting this song that is loaded on deck 2. On this side, on the left side, is just affecting that song. The master is affecting everything, okay? Both. This knob right here, you can see is your headphone mix. So this is, if I have it all the way to the left, it's gonna take in whatever I cue up, which we'll get into a second. If I have it in the center, I'm typically gonna hear, if I have the cues armed, which I'll get to in a second, I'm gonna hear both songs playing at the same time if my headphones are inside. When I load a song and then cue it up, the button turns on for this particular controller. Each controller may have different variations of where things are, but this one I have to click it. Now, if I play a song and I turn this all the way to cue, I'm only gonna hear the song that's being cued, right? Now, I could be playing a song on this side at the same time, but in my headphones, since this is the headphone mix, I'm only hearing the song that I'm gonna load in next. This will all make sense in time. If it's in the middle and I have both songs playing, I'm gonna hear both as long as this is armed. And if I turn it all the way to the right, I'm only gonna hear the current song that is playing, whichever side it's on. This one is your headphone level. That's pretty self-explanatory, how loud you're getting the sound in your headphones, okay? Your cue here is the next song that you're queuing up. I armed it here, I turned it on here, so that I can listen to what's gonna come in if I'm playing on this side. So if I'm playing a song on this side, I'm gonna cue up this side so I can prepare myself to mix the left side in. Hence why I usually will have the cue here, and sometimes I will bring it to the middle to hear how they blend together. It's kind of like you're previewing what's coming next. Over here you have your faders. This is kind of like your volume again. Like there's a lot of different volume things on this controller, but how much I'm fading in the song or not. Fading in the song or not. So you have two of them, one for each deck, and then you have a fader in the middle that you can use to go to the left or to the right. So you have options of how you want to use it. Some people mix like this. Some people mix with both. Some people mix with just this. I know that I do both. It just depends on how I'm feeling. Now these three are your EQ. Your lows, your mids, and your highs. Basically cutting out the lower end, which will typically be your bass, the middle end, which is technically the middle of the song. Sometimes it's the vocals, it's the certain instruments like guitar, pianos. It doesn't cut it out completely, it just brings it down, brings it to the minimum, or I can bring it to the maximum and emphasize it. So typically you're using these when you're mixing, and then these are just your highs. So some people mix with this, some people don't even touch it, but I do because I like to mix a lot when I'm DJing. And then this knob here is your filter, the low pass and the high pass. Over here on this controller, we have effects. So remember what I was showing you in Serato, the different effects you can enable, turn on, turn off. This is how you turn them on. So I had low pass set to number 1, so I turned it on, and then I was able to affect it with this level of how much do I want that to feed into the song playing on this side. This is your jog wheel. Over here you have your tempo, so you can, if this song is at 70 BPM and I want to bring it up, I'm going to drag it to change and make it go to 80. Or maybe I want to make it a little bit slower and I'm going to bring it down to 68. So this is where your tempo is. Over here is where you can lock in key or you can turn the key off. What lock in key means is I can either make the song go chipmunky or not. That's the best way I could describe it. So when you have it turned on, it's not gonna go, when you have this turned on and you decide to speed up your song, it won't get chipmunky. It's not stretching the song. But if you have it turned off and you change your tempo, it'll start to stretch the song. The great thing about these controllers is they give you the option to use a 3rd and a 4th deck. I personally have never done that. But the button is here. If I want to make this now my 3rd deck, I can turn this on and now I can load in a 3rd song. Over here is your vinyl and slip button. This knob on the side here is your mic level. Your mic goes into here. And then your headphones, you have 2 different options to put your headphones in on this side. Now over here are your hot cues. The hot cues is already enabled. Over here is your auto loop, so you can create loops of different lengths. You have your manual loop, and here's your sampler where you're gonna find all your effects, your sound effects. You have your start, you have your cue, you have your sync on and off. How you turn it off is by holding shift, and then you have your shift. Your shift is gonna affect all the secondary labels. So when you see key lock and then under it you see tempo range, your shift enables the secondary things, okay? And then you have the same thing on this side. I hope I did a good job explaining the basics of this controller. But let's move on to the next section. Now let's talk about building your music library. So when I took you into Serato, you saw your crates / your folders that you create to build your library. So that is something you're gonna start to have to do. When I first started, I focused on 1 or 2 genres. I suggest starting with 1, and pick one that you really like, because chances are those are going to be the songs that you like. So pick the songs that you like, start organizing them into folders, check out how other DJs organize their folders. Some organize it mainly by mood, some organize it by genre and year, and then have other crates of moods. I tend to do that, and then sometimes I have created crates for specific events. But for you, what I want you guys to do is organize your first crate. Now, I want to say something to keep this in mind. I don't know if too many people talk about it, but it's very frustrating for me when I learned about it. Either you're going to put your songs on your computer itself or you're going to get an external hard drive. I have an external hard drive. Either way, whatever you choose to do, obviously back that up on something, whether it's a cloud or another hard drive that you don't touch. But you create your folders in your hard drives. You put your songs in your folders. So let's say we're doing pop. So you have a pop folder in your hard drive, you put your Ariana Grande, you put your Taylor Swift in there, you put 2-3 songs. Open up that folder. Now open up your Serato, create a crate that says pop. Now you drag those songs into Serato. Now this is the key. If you go back in your hard drive and you change the folder name from pop to mainstream, and you try to load a song in Serato, Serato will be like, where's the song? So how you name your folders creates a path for Serato to remember. So if you change the name of the folder or you change where the song is and you put it in a different folder, you're changing the path that Serato remembers. So it won't find it, even though you have the song. So you'll have to reload it in to the same folder or into something else. Now, it might not seem like a big deal if you have 3 or 4 songs, but when you have 30,000 and 60,000 songs, it could be a big deal. So that was big for me to know. How I name my folders in my hard drive or wherever you're storing your music is important. And if you change them, Serato won't be able to find it. It'll still be there, but then you're going to have to redrag it in. So just keep that in mind when you're creating your folders on your hard drive or wherever you're storing them and you're dragging them into Serato. So try to have how you have it on your hard drive in your software. Jeez. But for the sake of you as a beginner, start with one folder, start with your pop, whatever genre you want to start with, however you want to organize it. Make sure you watch other videos to see, because that's going to be important. And I know sometimes genres cross over, so it can get really tricky. But if you start with pop, for example, and you have 3 songs in there, you put the 3 songs in the folder on your hard drive or your computer, wherever you're storing it, keep it organized. And then you create a folder in Serato and you drag and drop it into the folder, okay? Next, you're gonna start practicing. So now that you have a few songs loaded in Serato, you're gonna start practicing. You're gonna practice loading it in. You're gonna practice how the software and the hardware work together. It's gonna take a little time to get the hang of where everything is. You might learn something faster than the other, but have grace and patience with yourself when you're learning. The goal here is for you to learn the relationship between the hardware and your software and how it works together, and then playing the music, right? Start there. Then you'll get into mixing it, transitioning from one song to another. Okay, so we're gonna start there. Also keep in mind, you're gonna mess up, and that's totally okay. One thing that DJing taught me is you're gonna mess up, but it doesn't matter because it's how you recover. Understand that you're not gonna get everything right now, and that's okay. It's a new skill you're learning. It's something completely fresh. Okay, so have fun. Like, have fun learning. Wow, like, oh, these buttons. Review the videos. Review where everything is. Take your time. Play around with it. See, what does this do? What does that do? Get familiar with what you're working with. DJing isn't about being perfect, okay? You're just starting, you're learning. Be consistent with practicing. Watch other videos. Learn different transitions. Start where you are. Use the things that you have, and just keep showing up for yourself. And have fun. This is fun. I remember when I just started DJing. And it was on this controller actually. And I was learning. Maybe I'll insert a little video right here so you can see when I started practicing. But have fun with it. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Check out more tools below in the description. I have the effects tools. I also have other tools for you, for DJs, for creators, email templates, all types of things. Check it out in the description below, and I will see you guys in the next video.